Hoping to escape shame and guilt, Der Kutze dabbled in alcohol and drugs in his 20s. As a child, he carried the secret of abuse for years. He was repeatedly violated by a close family friend who was also their dentist.
I was powerless. I couldn't do anything. I think it's very strange because you still trust that person. I thought it's my fault, and I thought sometimes I allowed it to happen. I should have spoken out. I should have ran out of the situation.
It happened in the dentist's chair, at family gatherings and on holidays. Kutze says, as part of sexual grooming, he was showered with gifts. And he wasn't the only victim. His family ignored a red flag when the perpetrator was accused of molesting other children.
I trusted him, and to a point where there was actually accusations against him for child abuse, for sexual abuse against other boys. He ended up in prison. My parents, my family didn't believe it. They were supporting him through this time, which made it even worse. I couldn't tell them. So I kept my silence for another, I think, about 3 years before I couldn't take it any longer. And I came out and told my mother and father.
Gender rights groups say there's still a culture of silence in most communities.
The reality of 1 in 3 boys and 1 in 3 girls is that we need to start talking about it, specifically on boys. And the majority of young boys in South Africa have not got a father figure. They have not got somebody who they can look up at and is actually going to teach them the way things are supposed to be.
Boys are as vulnerable as girls.
We have campaigns against the girl child, for the girl child, about sexual abuse. But we actually don't have those conversations with the boy. When people say, is it a different conversation? I said, no, it is not a different conversation. It is exactly the same conversation you are going to have with the boy child as a girl child. The majority of the perpetrators are men. So we can't take men out of this equation. Men are very part and parcel of this equation. We can do what we want and say what we want about gender-based violence. But if we don't deal with the men who are hurting, the men who are broken, the men who are not positive role models to children, then we're not going to succeed.
Kutze has been substance-free for 5 years. His message to other survivors:
you don't have to suffer your whole life. You can become free of all your guilt.
Gillian Pillay, SABC News, Johannesburg.